Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter 21, Inequalities and Regions, Exercise 21b. Let's see what are the main objectives. The main objectives are to shade set of compound inequalities. And the second objective is identify and write the inequalities for the unshaded region in the given diagram. These are the points that you have to keep in your mind while you are drawing or while you are graphing any inequality. The first one is decide whether to use a solid or a broken line, decide which side to shade the area you do not need. Okay, if you want to see the detail of these points, please watch the exercise, the video of exercise 21a. Okay, let's start with the help of an example. Here they want us to draw a diagram to represent the region defined by the set of inequalities. Set of inequalities means right now you can see that I have this compound inequality and I have another compound inequality, and I have to represent both of them on the same coordinate plane. Okay, now the boundaries here for this one, remember, whenever the inequality is in X, we have to keep the word walks in our mind. That means that we have to draw vertical lines, and we will find these point -1 and 2 on the x-axis line. And here for this one, we remember we have to keep the word hoy in our mind. That means we have to draw two horizontal lines, and where we will find these 2 points where we have to draw the horizontal lines on the y-axis line. Clear? So here are the the 4 inequalities separately written, which will give us the boundary lines. Okay, let me show you now. Here, as you can see, it's already, I have drawn it for you. If you look at the first one, as I told you, you have to draw the vertical lines, but first you have to find -1 and 2 on the x-axis line. So here is the x-axis line. This is the x-axis line. We have -1 over here and we have 2 over here. This shows that at these points I have to draw 2 solid vertical lines. Right? Why the lines are solid? Because of these symbols. Whenever we have these symbols, we have to draw the solid lines. Okay, then because this is the case of between, x is between 2 and -1, so we have to shade all the values that are less than -1, and on the other side we have to shade all the values that are greater than 2. Now look at the second inequality, the second compound inequality, y. So it means I have to go to the y-axis. So here is the y-axis. On the y-axis I have to find 0 and I have to find -5. So here we have 0 and here we have -5. Then because I have to draw 2 horizontal lines for this inequality, so I will draw one of the line on 0, it will be a horizontal line, and the other line I have to draw on -5, and again it's a horizontal and a solid line. Both the lines again will be solid lines. Now we do not need numbers greater than 0, so all this side of the horizontal line will be shaded, and here we do not need values less than -5, so all the numbers that are having less values will be crossed. Now this region that is not shaded, it is you can say our answer, because they said draw these inequalities and find the unshaded region. So this unshaded region is our answer. The part that is shaded is our unwanted area. Clear? So let's start the questions from the exercise. This is question number 1. Again they want us to draw these inequalities here on the coordinate plane. The first one is 2 is less than equal to x is less than or equal to 4. So what do I have to think? I have to think about the word, because this inequality is in x, so I will think about walks. That means I have to draw vertical lines, and first I have to find on the x line these points 4 and 2. So this is the x line. I will find here I have 4 and here I have 2. Now I have to draw 2 vertical lines over here. Now those lines will be solid lines or those lines will be dotted lines. So those lines are going to be solid lines. So let me draw the lines over here. So here are the vertical lines, and both the lines are going to be solid lines. Now where do we have to shade? This is the question, because here if you notice that we have 2 inequalities, x is less than or equal to 4. it means I need all the values that are less than 4. So I do not need the values that are greater than 4. So that's why this side will be shaded. Clear? And the other inequality, it is x is greater than or equal to 2. This one, this side is x is greater than or equal to 2. That means we need the greater values than 2. So we do not need the values that are smaller than 2. So that's why this side will be shaded. Or in other very simple words, you can say because x is lying between 2 and 4, this shows that the middle area, it will be blank, it will be unshaded, and this is the unwanted area. Like we do not need values greater than 4 and we do not need values less than 4. So this side will be shaded and the other side will also be shaded. Now if you look at the other inequality, again it has two inequalities. Let me show it with you with the green color. This one, it has two inequalities. And which word do you have to keep in mind? You have to keep the word in mind, hoy. Means we have to draw a horizontal line and we have to find these points on the y-axis. So -1, where is -1? -1 is here and 3 is here. 3 is here. So you have to draw two vertical lines at these points. So one of the line is going to be here and the other, horizontal lines. We have to draw two horizontal lines here. The other one will be here. Now we have to shade the unwanted region. As I told you, y is between these two numbers. That means keep this between area and shade below this line because we do not need smaller values than -1, and also shade above this line 3, I mean, because we do not need these values. So all this is the unwanted area, unwanted region, and this region that is unshaded is the area that we are looking for. Let me show you here. Here is the better picture for it. So clearly you can see how it is shaded, right? The pink color, it's showing the this one, this inequality, and the blue color is showing the other inequality, this one, the one that is in X. Clear? Okay, let's solve some more questions from the exercise. Now better pause the video here and solve this question on your own and then play the video to check your answer. So here I have drawn the lines. Clearly you can see because y for this one I have to find -1 and 2 on the y-axis. So here we have 2, here we have -1. So I have drawn two horizontal lines at these points. For this one it's only a single inequality, so I will find 1 and I will draw a vertical line here. Now which areas will be, which regions will be shaded? For this one it's very easy. You have to shade above and below the line, right here. Okay, what about this one? X is greater than 1. It means you have to keep the greater numbers for X. Look at this. This is the X line. So you have to keep the greater numbers for X and you have to shade all the smaller numbers. So all this side will be shaded. This is the unwanted region. So this will be the answer. It means that this unshaded region is the answer. Let me show you a proper picture for this one. Here is the proper picture. Clearly you can see that this inequality is shown with the pink color, and the other inequality, this one, is shown with the blue color. And this white part, this is the unshaded region. This is the region that we want. And all the ones that are shaded, colored, they are the unwanted regions, right? Now the next step is, if you have a diagram given and some of the areas are, or some of the regions are shaded in that diagram, some are unshaded. So how can we describe the inequalities for such cases? Okay, again we have to follow the same rules. Like we will look for walks and we will look for hoy. When I say walks, it means look at the x-axis. So this is the x-axis line, and what are the numbers that are you can say that are having the vertical solid line. So this number has this is -2, and here we have another number, it's +3. So it means between -2 and 3, this area is unshaded, and the area on the sides of these two lines are these regions are shaded, right? So how I will write the inequality now? x will be between these two numbers. So x is less than or equal to 3, and here on this side x is greater than or equal to -2. Why I'm putting this less than or equal to sign? Because both the lines are solid lines. If these lines will be dotted lines, in that case you will put these symbols. Clear? Remember, whenever you are talking about the area that is between the lower and the upper limit, we always have to put these symbols like less than or equal to here, less than or equal to here. Clear? Okay, now look at the horizontal lines. We have only one horizontal line, right? There is only one horizontal line. This shows that this is a single inequality. It's not going to be a compound inequality. And here is the point. This is the y line, this is the y-axis, and the number that is having the horizontal line is 1. So it means the boundary line is on 1. So y. Now see which part is shaded. The greater values are shaded. The greater values of y are shaded. So we have to look for the smaller value. So this shows that y is less than or equal to 1. Clear? Why it's less than or equal to 1? Because we are taking the smaller values of y. In the unshaded area, in the unshaded region, I have the smaller values than 1. So I will say y is less than 1. Clear? Okay, let's solve some questions from the exercise now. Here is question number 12. Better pause the video here and solve it on your own. Remember, if you have two vertical lines, that means it's a compound inequality in x. If you have a single line, horizontal or vertical, that means that will not be a compound inequality. Clear? Now better pause the video here and find the answer of this question and then play the video to check your answer. So here is the answer. Clearly for the vertical lines, we will see on the x-axis we have two limits, -2 and 1. So x will lie between -2 and 1. And why do we have to put these less than or equal to signs? Because these are two solid lines. Then I will look for the horizontal line. The horizontal line is giving me 1 here. This shows that y and all the greater numbers are not shaded. That means y is greater than or equal to -1. Now solve question number 13 on your own and then play the video to check your answer. Here is the answer for question number 13. Now first of all, let's discuss why it is x is less than 0. Because for x, if we look at this vertical line, it's a dotted line. So if I look for the word walks, and I can see the number is 0 here, right? So all the right side is shaded. The right side is shaded from the 0 and the left side is not shaded. So that's why I need the less numbers than 0. So x will be less than 0. And when you look at the vertical, the horizontal line, it's this one. Again, it's a dotted line, and below the 0 are shaded and above the 0 are not shaded. That means that you have taken all the greater values of y. So y will be greater than 0. Okay, let's solve one more question. Question number 14. Better pause the video here and solve it on your own and then play the video to check your answer. Here is the answer. This is the x-axis line, and clearly these are the limits for the x-axis line. It's walks, so x will be between -2 and 2. So you will say x is less than 2, and here x is greater than 2. You will not say less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. None of these symbols will be used because these are the dotted lines. Then you will look at the horizontal lines. You will think about the word hoy. That means go to the y-axis. This is the y-axis. See what is the number there. It's 2 and -2. So that means y will be placed between 2 and -2. Again, no less than or equal to, because both these are dotted lines. That's all for this video. Here's a challenge question. Solve it on your own and then play the video to check your answer. Here is the answer for the challenge question. That's all for this video. Hope you understand it.